Hey, what's up, YouTubers? Grant F here again. Been a few weeks, but I'm back, and I just want to tell you guys about a movie that I saw last Saturday, last weekend, which was The Wolverine, directed by James Mangold. If you guys know anything about James Mangold, he's the same guy that did Walk the Line, 310 to Yuma. Is a very good Western type of storyteller, type of filmmaker. This film, however, is completely opposite. It's way over in the east. Takes place in Japan. Wolverine is suffering from the loss of Jean Grey after he, spoiler alert, killed her at the end of X-Men: The Last Stand. So this is a direct sequel, going in linear fashion to the last X-Men film, and not a prequel as that piece of crap film known as X-Men Origins Wolverine was. And wow, what a disappointment what that ended up being. So this film has a completely different tone from the last film. It's definitely a change of pace for Hugh Jackman and the crew. It's very nice to see that they definitely knew that a lot of comic book readers, especially from Wolverine and, some of these older characters that Marvel created back in the 60s and 70s, have an adult audience. And just because they're superheroes doesn't necessarily mean they have to be dumbed down or, kiddie-ish. And I did like the fact that they chose to make this film a lot more gritty, and even if it's superheroes, a lot more realistic. Whenever Wolverine would stab people, he would have blood on his claws. The dialogue, I think, was a lot more realistic to an extent, and just the direction looked great. I mean, there's some action scenes in this. There's a scene that takes place on the roof of a train. That's just, I blew my mind. It was insane. But yeah, I guess you guys can already tell that I actually enjoyed this movie quite a bit. It's not perfect. It does have its flaws, but anyway, the story of the film brings Logan to Japan. He's like I said, he's a broken, suffering man who has a lot of guilt and a lot of pent up anger. He's living alone in the wilderness in Canada until he is summoned by this girl named, I think her name is Yukio, to go to Japan at the request of a man that he saved prior in World War II in Nagasaki. And basically, Logan, in this flashback, it's basically at the beginning of the film, he's a prisoner of war. He's held in this containment cell underground. All you see is his eyes peeking through. And this guy, they see the bomb being dropped. The man that Logan potentially saves goes with these three other guys, these three other Japanese lieutenants, and they start killing themselves. Because if you guys know anything about the Japanese in World War II, they were no retreat, no surrender. They did not surrender themselves or let the enemy be killed, and they would rather die by their own hand because it was a thing of honor. It was the way of the samurai. And before this guy can, all the lieutenants kill themselves, and before this guy can do it, Logan stops him and says, "Hey, come on! It's the bomb's coming. Let's go!" And he runs back, and they jump down into his cell. And it's not really clear how Logan got out of the cell any in the first place, but they jump down into a cell, and the bomb goes off, and Wolverine covers the guy with this big piece of metal, and then lifts it up, and then Logan's all burnt and scarred, looked really nasty, and then of course his healing factor kicks in, and he heals, and he's fine. But basically, flash forward, 50, 60 years later. This guy is living in Japan. He's a dying old man, and he wants to repay Logan the favor by he offers the chance to make Logan mortal. And he understands that Logan, he has to see a lot of the people that he loves die. I mean, it's kind of like the curse of being a vampire. You're immortal, but you have to see all these people that you know and love that aren't a vampire like you, don't have the abilities that you do, die around you while you just kind of roam the earth alone. and this guy offers a chance to end Logan's suffering. And that's basically the premise of the film. And there's other characters that you meet along the way. There's some nice subplots in there involving Yakuza, Japanese mafia. It's based off a Frank Miller, I can't remember the guy's first name. I was Claremont, Chris Claremont, Wolverine story arc that took place in Japan. To an extent, it follows it pretty closely, but it kind of deviates away from it towards the end. And that's kind of where the film really suffers, is that it kind of... So there's an ambulance outside, guys, sorry. It kind of suffers from that cliched superhero third act where, it just kind of gets a little CGI-ish and over the top, because it is a comic book movie, and I guess the filmmakers thought, oh, we need a big climactic fireworks ending. And it looks cool. It's action packed. It's fun to watch, but it just kind of felt that it had such a strong first two acts, and then the third act it just kind of fell apart. But that doesn't completely take me away or take me out of the film. It just kind of thought, like, man, come on, you guys could have tried something a little more different. Come on. But it would have been a perfect film, near perfect film. I would say if you guys are fans of X-Men or Wolverine, you will definitely enjoy this movie. Another thing that I just realized about this movie was, man, they push the PG-13 limit. Like, they push the PG-13 like to its limit. Like, I mean, there's an F-bomb in here. There's like Wolverine says, look at this asshole, or piece of shit. Like it really cuts to the core of like, adult readers and adult audiences of Wolverine and of X-Men. Like, and I love that. I love that because I grew up with X-Men as a kid. I watched the Saturday morning cartoon show all the time, and the fact that they're catering to those young fans that watched it back then that are now adults and making it more relevant to them, I think is really cool. Like I said, if you guys are fans of X-Men or Wolverine, you will love this. If you're not someone who's into superheroes or are into this like mythology of them, I'd say you probably still enjoy it. You probably have a good time. It's a fun summer action, popcorn film. But if you're someone that is a die-hard Wolverine comic book aficionado, and don't like your lore, your source material being dicked with, or if it deviates any way from the source material, you're probably not going to like this film. I kind of felt that way with Iron Man 3. I didn't hate Iron Man 3. It is a good film, but just that twist at the end it just really made me mad with one of the villains. I was shocked that they did that. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, Wolverine, guys, or The Wolverine, as it's called. I didn't see it in 3D, I just saw it in 2D. I heard it was post-converted into 3D, so I didn't really care for any of that nonsense, and, decided to save my extra $4 or $5 for some popcorn. But, yeah, guys, I highly recommend this movie. Go check it out. Go see The Wolverine. If you guys have seen it, it's been out for about a week now. Let me know what your thoughts are. Write down in the comments below if you've seen The Wolverine, or if you have any comments about any other of the X-Men, franchises. Oh, by the way, stay after the credits. There's something really cool leading up to Days of Future Past that you guys definitely have to watch. It's a post-credit scene. Like, definitely, it's worth the wait. That was awesome. In fact, I wrote on my Facebook page that was worth. Well, the Wolverine was worth the price of admission just for that post-credit scene. It really was. But all right, guys, that's my review of the Wolverine. If you guys like what you see here, you can click the link down below and subscribe. And again, hit me up with your comments. I need more comments from you guys, man. I get so many views, but I don't have hardly any comments on my videos. I would like you guys' input if that's cool. But yeah, you guys have a good day, and I'll catch you later.